Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome to Russ Can Fly. Time to fly again, baby. Let's go! Alright, so you always wonder, like, how do you fly a 152? So, I'm going to fly back to Doylestown, and we're actually going to focus on flying this 152 and go through some of the things that it does take to fly this airplane. It's really quite simple. Hopefully the camera is picking up, but you really have, everything is on. The engine is already started because I had to go through that. It's got a Garmin 430, so these are my frequencies here. This is my RPM, so I'm going to be watching that. Mixture, throttle, carb heat, and then all my lights. Alright, so I'm definitely going to go. So definitely time for another flight. Definitely excited. In Little Sammy once again. Got everything together. Engine is started. Everything looks good. And we're going to make our way. So going to go up here, check my brakes. Going to go up here, do a run up, and we're going to let it do what it do. Alright, so let's creep up a little bit here. Check our brakes. Brakes are good. Alright. So welcome back to another flight in Little Sammy. And definitely excited to be flying. Alright, so one of the things that's going to be interesting about this flight is I'm actually going to do a straight up short field takeoff because this field is in fact pretty short. I believe it is 2,500 feet, and so we don't have a lot to play with. But the great thing about Little Sammy is masterful at short field takeoffs. So what that means here is that we're going to go 10 degrees of flaps, make sure my trim is set for takeoff, and we're going to be good. So I wanted to put that flap section in already because I really want to make sure that I have that in. Also, I want to make sure this mixture is full rich and that the carb heat is cold. Those two components are very important for this takeoff. We're going uphill, and at the end, there's a bunch of trees. So we got to make sure we get on top of our game here. And if I'm not off and climbing, got to think about aborting this takeoff. And so that is definitely going to be key.
As you can hear, I'm trying to be tight on my procedures, but that still doesn't account for the wind.
Alright, so I'm going to come up here, do my run-up, and be back with you in a second. Okay, run-up's complete, so let's go ahead and go over here. So before I go on, again, 10 degrees of flaps are in. Mixture is full rich. Trim is set for takeoff. Taxi landing light is going to come on. Carb heat is cold, and the fuel tank is on. Definitely have to make sure everything is in order. Flaps, mixture, carb heat, and trim. Alright, so everything is good. Don't hear anybody calling on final, and nobody's on the field. Claremont traffic, Cessna 94006, departing runway 3 out to the northeast. Claremont.
Okay, normally I play music, not going to do that. I want you to hear this takeoff. Man, scary.
Alright, so again, I got my flaps 10. Mixture is full rich. Carb heat is cold. Taxi landing light is on. Trim is set for takeoff. And as you can see, I am skirting this. I want every inch of this runway. Every inch. I don't want to give up any of it. And in fact, if the lights weren't there, I'd go into the grass. And if you look forward there, that's what I'm looking at. See that uphill climb we got there? And windsock is good. Little bit of a cross correction there. All right, I see 1-3. 1-3. All right, let's close this window. All right, I got the wind where I want it to be. All right, engine's gonna come full power. Suction, oil temp, oil pressure, all look good. All right, let's go. Heels to the floor. All right, airspeed is alive. And I'm going to be looking to come off pretty soon. Give them up. And Claremont traffic, Cessna 904006, right crosswind turn out to the northeast, last call, Claremont.
So I think what happened was the wind shifted drastically when I got over the trees. It was somehow blocking, you know, because you can see those trees were off to my left on my takeoff. Once I got above the tree line, the winds were doing something completely different, and it was more akin to a tailwind than a headwind. Man, listen.
I was the most scared I've ever been on a takeoff, I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I kept hearing the stall horn, and and I kept seeing trees, and yeah, that was pretty scary. Now, the one thing that I have to be worried about too is this TFR that's down here in Delaware. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. Yeah, that let me tell you like this. Every dollar that I spent flight training, because sometimes I wonder, did I spend too much money flight training? Did I flight train for too long? Answer to that question is no. Because I can remember practicing those short field takeoffs. Had I not configured for a short field takeoff, you'd be reading about me in the newspaper, because I would have been in those trees. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that would have been a problem. I was having a hard time getting above 50 knots. Wind was pushing me. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, all right, so, whew, Lord have mercy. All right, so I gotta keep flying the plane. Mixture's full rich. Throttle's where I want it to be. Taxi landing light can come off. And I am going to go up to 3,000. I'm gonna have to cheat out here a little bit, because that Bravo shelf is gonna cause some mischief. All right, so I'm just making sure that I'm looking at all of these different airspaces. No, we're good. I think it was giving me that Newcastle because I was heading that way. Ooh, ooh. It's almost like a demon drop when it hits that turbulence, boy. All right, so if you look out the front there, you see the Delaware River. I think that's that bridge that you go across there. Oh, so, you know, I'm still trying to recover from that takeoff. And that's one thing, man, you know, nothing, I tell people, every flight is its own adventure. It really is. I mean, just when you think, you know, everything is just kind of normal and no big deal, something jumps up, man, and it's just, wow, crazy. And this flight, right from the beginning, had its fireworks. Now, I saw some other airplanes in there, and I'm just wondering, like, man, you know, they must have nerves of steel. But at any rate, so what I'm trying to do is I'm making sure that I am paying attention to the various aspects of this Bravo, these various Bravo shells. So this outer ring is 4,000. So I'm just gonna stay at 3 and stay in that outer ring, basically. Yeah, so I'm sitting here in this airplane really thinking that I've done anything different, anything better. I definitely didn't stall the airplane. I kept wanting to pull back. And the stall horn was definitely screeching at me. But I just let little Sammy do his thing. I had 10 degrees of flaps, and but my speed, I just couldn't get my speed together. And let me pay attention to what I'm doing, because right now I'm in this Bravo shelf, but I gotta stay over this way. Come on, little Sam. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Okay, got that in. All right, good. Now, I need to focus on flying here, because all kinds of Bravo shelf stuff going on. And so, yeah, I think off to the distance there, it's just flying and altitude gives you such a different perspective. Height gives you the ability to see things in a different way. So it's just strange to me, and my brain is having a hard time comprehending that I can see both Wilmington downtown Wilmington and downtown Philadelphia at the same time. Like, that doesn't seem like that should be possible. But because of being in this aircraft and having some altitude, I have a different perspective. I'm able to see differently. And so that's really just kind of fascinating from the standpoint that what I'm able to see changes my perspective, or where I'm positioned changes my perspective. I see traffic off there, got them in sight. Again, I'm flying around Philly's Bravo. And that's the other thing, to think that that Bravo comes all the way down to Maryland and Delaware. Crazy. Yeah, I might just stay down here just because of the cloud cover. Yeah, I'll probably just stay down here. I think that makes the most sense. Now, gotta be careful. So out here, Bravo shelf is 3,500. Over this way, getting closer to the river, it's 2,500. I'm at 2,500. So if I were to go over there, I would bust Bravo. So that's why I'm just gonna stay this heading for now, 030, and just keep myself safe. So this flight has been extremely colorful already. my goodness. So yeah, so it's been eventful already, and I I can't tell you. That is I'm telling you, man, I thank you, Heavenly Father, for being with me in the cockpit every time I fly. And Room 11 brother, thank you for praying for me. I am here to testify that the Lord heard your prayers and saw fit to make sure that I made it out of there safe. One of those things where you see so many times where pilots, low time like me, do a takeoff. Everything is cool in ground effect. And you get good, climb out rates. But as soon as you come out of ground effect and you're over some trees and the winds shift, that's usually when there's some issues. And that was certainly the case this time. I mean, my goodness. When I was coming off, came off nice, halfway down the runway, plenty of runway left, decided to continue, was climbing out at 500 feet per minute. My speed was about 55 knots, and all of a sudden got over those trees, airspeed began to bleed off, climb rate was very anemic, and it was not a good time. I was not having fun. I was not enjoying myself. So I thank you so much for praying for me, because the good Lord decided to just kind of jump in and put his hand under the belly of this aircraft and just hold it so that if nothing else, it didn't descend anymore. But it's such a blessing to be able to get to do this, to challenge myself. I tell you, there's two things that would have made me have a different experience. And I did look off to my left here. There was an open space to my left, right off the airport. And I just thought, if I need to put this daggone thing down, I'm going to put it there. And so I started to, but then I just kept watching. Lord kept holding, I kept watching. And I'm here. So that's why you can never take any flight for granted. Every flight has meaning, every flight is important, and every flight comes with its lesson. Northbound traffic, Cessna 94006, 10 southwest of the field, inbound from runway 5. So, alrighty then, let's start our descent. Torpedo is gonna come on, and we're gonna pull some power. Do a nice little 500 feet per minute descent. I'll take it down to 25, and we're going to do a left downwind for runway 5. So this has been a great flight. This has been a great flight. The reason why I've enjoyed this flight is that it's taught me something and it's challenged me greatly. But the real greatness about this flight is just the faith. The faith that the Lord is with me. Because that's what that takeoff, that was the ingredient. Because everything else was done correctly, but it still needed God's hand. It really did. If nothing else, just to keep me from tripping out and panicking and doing what so many people do when they get into that situation. Doylestown traffic, Cessna 94006, 3 mile final, runway 5, Doylestown. That's the only thing I don't like about Doylestown. I can't see the VASI. Like, you can't see it until you're like right up on it. Doylestown traffic, Cessna 94006, short final, runway 5, Doylestown.
Okay, let's get little Sammy on the ground. Let's go.
On glass slope. On glass slope. Don't get slow. Crosswind. Watch the crosswind. Get slow. Get rudder. Rudder, rudder. Rudder, rudder. Not bad. Not bad at all. Flaps coming up. Not bad. Nice crosswind landing, Russ. My goodness, that was nice. Touchdown, the left wheel first, then we're on the main, then the right main, then here comes the front gear. That was the best crosswind landing I have ever done. All right, so that's it. Nice and parked. Thank you for flying with me. Russ Kid, Russ Can Fly. It's been awesome. Thank you all for the support. This is a heck of a flight. All right, take care. I'm out. Peace.